Now from the University of Okoboji, it's Okoboji Broadcast with Jeff Thee.
Welcome to Okoboji Broadcast, everybody. I'm Jeff Thee, coming to you from the Dickinson County Museum. History's coming alive, courtesy of my friend Mary Dreier's here with me once again.
Hey, Jeff.
How are you?
I'm good, and I am so excited, Jeff.
I know you are.
We've got a big thing happening around here.
Yeah, you've got an event coming up a week from tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah.
And what's it going to encompass? What are we talking about?
We are talking about a discovery that we made here at the museum not that long ago. And it's something that was a surprise. It was something that we didn't really understand what we had at first, and it's kind of grown as we found more information. Are you curious?
I'm absolutely spellbound. You have to.
Okay.
So don't leave me hanging.
I won't. I would never do that, Jeff.
What do we got here, Mary?
What we have is this little box. Can you see it on the camera?
I can see it right there. You bet I can.
Okay. Pretty nondescript box.
Just a
right?
box. A phone message thing in there. And,
yeah. Just filled with something.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Well, this was in the bottom of a filing cabinet back in our resource room. And I didn't think a whole lot about it. And I started pulling out these things.
Glass slides.
Slides. Now, I have a collection of glass slides from my great uncle, and I know that these are old.
Yeah.
So I know that these are, way back when.
Right.
And I started looking through the slides, being super careful because they're very fragile. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that there were photos of the lakes area from long ago, photos that I'd never seen before.
Right.
And I'm just so excited about those.
Of course.
And also, there are a lot of slides, and I'm trying to find one here. Well, here's, for instance, the slide of peace pipes. And I thought, well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Makes you wonder what you got there, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And here's one of teepees.
Yes.
And something not very nice happening. Let me see if I can find another one.
So it's like a story's trying to be told.
It is. And then I found a slide like this.
And who might that be?
Well, you tell me, Jeff.
I was hoping you'd tell me.
Think Dickinson County history.
Mm-hmm.
Think probably the event that did more to put Dickinson County on the map than anything else.
This has something to do with Abbie Gardner, doesn't it?
It is, and her cabin.
Oh my goodness.
I could not figure out why we had these slides that obviously tell the story of Abbie Gardner.
Yeah.
But I kind of set them aside for a while. And then, how things kind of come to you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, we found this program. And you'll see that it is an illustrated historical lecture with 80 scenes in natural and lifelike colors.
Wow.
And it describes some of the slides that are in here. Mm-hmm. And it's given at the Fraser Theater in Spencer, Iowa, with matinees, daily and evening programs given by the PTA.
Wow. It costs a lot of money too. Adults 25 cents mm-hmm. and children a dime.
This interesting illustrated lecture will be presented in your city soon. Every man, woman, and child should see and hear this historical feature and learn about the hardships of early pioneers settling in Iowa.
My goodness.
And you flip it over, and I recognize a photo here of none other than Abbie Gardner Sharp.
Yes.
And I see some other people, 3 guys, and I read that one of them is Mr. A.L. Sharp, grandson of the late Abbie Gardner Sharp.
Wow.
And then I read, this intensely interesting lecture is taken from the history by the late Abbie Gardner Sharp, the sole survivor of the Gardner Massacre, who was taken captive by the Indians and finally liberated and ransomed by the government. The finest educational feature ever presented in your city. And it's not only an illustrated lecture, Jeff. It was accompanied by special musical features.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So then, this is just within the last week. We, well actually Jonathan Reed, my partner in crime when it comes to a lot of historical stuff around here, did a little research on two of the guys that are listed on the brochure.
Okay.
One of them's name is Edwin C. Horn. I was composer pianist in classics and Indian melodies. It's quite a title, isn't it?
That's a pretty good title.
Pretty good title. And Jonathan discovered that he wrote a tune called the Okoboji Waltz.
Ah, okay.
And I realized that in our collection here at the museum, we have some sheet music called, guess what?
It's the Okoboji Waltz.
The Okoboji Waltz by Edwin C. Horn. And so he was the composer.
Published by Okoboji Music Company in Des Moines.
Yeah.
Now, do we know what year this would have been going on with the presentation? And
well, let me start with the music. Jeff.
Okay.
Okay, now if you can read Roman numerals, which I can't anymore, you would find that this was published in about 1921.
Okay, yeah.
About the year that Abbie Gardner died. And if you play the piano at all, do you, Jeff?
No. Chopsticks.
Well, I do, and I looked at this thinking, oh yeah, I can play that. No way can I play this.
Is it just that complicated?
Yeah,
or?
yeah. You see, the blacker the music, the harder it is.
There's a lot of notes in there.
There's a lot of notes.
I know that
in this
much
thing.
anyway.
But it's the Okoboji Waltz. Well, then I thought, gal, we're having this slide presentation coming up. Wouldn't it be cool to have somebody play this?
Yeah.
So we had the idea, well, let's find somebody to play this. And we tossed around names of various musicians around the area, okay? And we thought, yeah, that'd be cool. We could get an electric piano to the venue and have them play
Have
this.
someone do it, yeah.
But then I had an idea, because in our collection we have, actually, it's called an I-78 record. Have you ever heard of those?
Now, we used to have 78 records,
Yeah.
but
No.
this is not that.
This is before that.
Oh my goodness.
It is, I think it's 10 inches.
Okay.
Okay, so it's smaller than the 78 records.
Okay.
And it's thick. It's more than a 1/4 inch thick. I mean, this thing is thick.
I used to have some of those albums that were
Did you really?
thick, yes.
Yeah. Well, we have that with the Okoboji Waltz on it. And I thought, well, maybe we could play that. Because wouldn't it be cool to hear the original recording?
How it was originally presented.
But, I couldn't figure out a way to do it. So you know what I did?
What'd you do?
I went to Google. I Googled.
You Googled the Okoboji Waltz.
And lo and behold.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding. They have an original recording there from 1923 of an orchestra playing the Okoboji Waltz. So that ties right into the program that we're doing next week.
Absolutely.
It ties into the Sharp family. And people who come to our program are going to get to hear the Okoboji Waltz as it was originally meant to be heard.
Originally meant to be heard, and also originally presented with these slides.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was part of the slide program that Albert Sharp put on, and it's a part of the slide program that we're putting on next week.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and this is complete with all the scratches, the tinny sounds. It's so cool.
Yeah, that was the beauty of the old vinyl records, was you got that war sound with it had been scratched and.
Oh yeah. This is so cool, and I was just elated to find this and figure this out. And I may be the only person on earth that is excited about listening to this old 1920s era waltz.
I think it's pretty exciting, Mary.
But you come to the performance or the presentation next week, Jeff, and you'll get to hear this over the speaker system. Not digital, not anything.
Just
I found it on Google.
And Google, for crying out loud.
For crying out loud.
Where history comes alive, on Google.
Or you can find all sorts of obscure things like Okoboji
and things you don't want to see.
Yeah.
Now, so her grandson did the presentation slide by slide.
Yeah, he did.
Now, who's going to be narrating during this next week? Then?
Our own Abbie Gardner Sharp historian and expert here, Ed Purdy, who is a docent at the Abbie Gardner Cabin and Museum.
Yeah.
And he and I met again this morning, and he is so excited about doing this, Jeff.
Yeah.
His eyes just sparkle, and he is a master storyteller. And not only are we going to get to see the slides, but he's going to be telling obscure little stories about what went on, and
Yeah.
He's going to make it really come to life.
Wow. Now, does he have any like original text that the grandson read from, or
that is the one thing that we don't have.
Okay.
I have scoured the museum looking for a script that Albert Sharp would have had. It's not to be had.
Yeah.
What we do have is a listing of the slides when they were donated to us.
Oh.
This is the other piece of the puzzle that documents that these slides are actually from Albert Sharp.
Yeah, look at
we
this.
actually have documentation that he gave these slides to the museum in 1992. And this is a list of the different slides.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. But no,
And
but
that's
no
quite a few
script.
slides too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
That is just
Yeah.
really, really
So
cool.
these are absolutely the slides that
Yeah.
Albert Sharp used.
Right here.
Right. And they are hand colored. That was unusual back in the day.
Well, yeah, I was going to say they didn't have color film.
No,
no. In 1921, is that what we said?
That's when the
22?
music was.
Okay, the music was.
And the slides, I'm sure they're from varying years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
And I don't know much about the process. I just know that my great uncle's slides that I own, that are glass slides, are all black and white,
Right.
except for the few that he hand colored.
Okay.
And I think it was a big deal. to
I'm
do
sure probably a
hand-colored
much more
slides.
expensive process. Timely. I mean,
Well, and I don't know if you could like take the slides into Walmart at that time and get them hand colored.
Yeah,
I kind of don't think so. I kind of have an image in my mind's eye of Albert Sharp sitting there coloring these slides by
oh my
hand.
goodness.
I don't know. We'll never know.
Yeah, we never know. But,
We'll never know.
But we may.
But I
never
can
know.
tell
We'll
you
find out.
that back in the day, and it was, we've been able to find some articles in newspapers that from the 1930s that talk about Albert Sharp going to different schools and different organizations to give these shows. Several of them, at least, were given for school children, some for PTAs,
Mm-hmm.
some as fundraisers. But it was in the 30s, and we have a local resident who can remember going to one of these shows as about a 10 or 11-year-old kid.
Oh my goodness.
Probably the only guy around that actually got to see these slides in person given by Albert
And
Sharp.
just happens to be a local historian as well.
He's an awesome local historian and storyteller.
Mr. Aubrey LaFoy.
Yeah, and he'll tell the story.
And one thing I do remember, just as a kid, and I believe it was in 1936, so that would mean I was 11 years old. I went down to the Milford Gymnasium or Auditorium and watched some slides by Mr. Sharp. And it really was interesting because that was the first time that I had ever seen a machine like that or seen slides on a screen. I don't remember a whole lot about the presentation. I do remember going there. I remember even where I was sitting on the bleachers, and the people were in chairs down along the front there. It's still the same gymnasium in the Okoboji Elementary School is the one that I was there all the time. I went from first grade through 12th grade. It's the same place. But anyway, I can't tell you a whole lot about seeing and what I saw, but I do remember going.
And like Aubrey said, back in the day, having a colored version of these photos was a huge, big deal.
Yeah.
And to go to the gymnasium, like Aubrey did, to see these and to see the big machine, the big projector that would have shown these, would have just been miraculous.
Yeah.
And the fact that Aubrey, let's see, what would it be, 85 years later,
Yeah.
remembers this. It made that big of an impression.
And it's that big of a deal that he was actually on hand for one of these presentations.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be coming Thursday night, but I kind of hope he does.
Yeah. But it's neat he remembers going to it as a school child.
Yeah, and can tell us the story of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
Just keep telling stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's next Thursday.
It is next Thursday, April 21st.
Okay.
And it is part of our History Lives speaker series. And because we are expecting a big crowd for this, I mean, the buzz online is just incredible. We've got people in California, Hawaii, Texas, who are going to be watching our live stream of this.
Yeah.
We needed to have a bigger venue for this. Plus, we'll have professional audio and visual equipment. So it's going to be a great
This is
location.
a big show.
This is the big.
It's a big show putting on what was a big show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's at the Mazer Monarch Lodge,
Right.
which is on the campus of the Dickinson County Nature Center.
Yeah.
Beautiful facility.
Yep.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yep.
7 o'clock next Thursday night. It is a free presentation, and it is being co-hosted and co-sponsored by the Friends of the Abbie Gardner Cabin, a group who has formed to work on preserving the cabin as it is now.
Yeah.
And so there'll be some representatives from that group present also.
Fun.
So it's really fun to work with another group too to do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be a very spectacular, and in its authenticity. That's what I like about it, with the glass slides, original recording of the Okoboji waltz. I mean, yeah.
And Ed Purdy to tell the stories.
All comes together.
It does. It does. And it's our history from this county. It's what started everything here. And to find these slides was just amazing. Just amazing. You know, they've been here since 1992.
Yeah.
This is the first time in 80-some years that they have been seen. I would guess. I can't guarantee that, but I would guess.
Now, do you need a special projector?
No, because we are in the computer age, Jeff.
Oh, we are.
We are in the
well,
computer
this is news
age.
to me.
Yes, I took these to a Photoshop in Ames that I've used for some of my own glass slides. And I took them down there and I made an appointment so I could get them all digitized in one day. I didn't want to leave them there because these are so precious.
Yeah.
They did a marvelous job of digitizing these. So we'll be showing them off of a computer. Go figure. Go figure.
Yeah, well, it's just going to be so much fun. It's very interesting. And I bet if you ever open a drawer that you haven't before, you almost, ooh, I wonder what's in this one.
You know, I do, Jeff.
I bet you do.
I find stuff all the time. Really cool stuff. But I have to say that this find was the
biggest
best.
find.
And I love how it wasn't just, oh my gosh, these are Albert Sharp's original slides. I didn't know that at first. It took finding these other things to really let my heart know how valuable these slides are, not just for the museum and not just for the citizens of Dickinson County, but for the world.
Yes. Makes the find even more precious.
It does.
When
And
you
to find these other pieces.
Little detective work and then bring in people that know something and
Yeah, it's just
Don't you have the
coolest.
bestest job?
Oh, I have the bestest job. I do.
I know
I
you
get to
do.
talk with you every week.
I don't think that's the highlight, Mary.
Well, you know, it can't be. Today it is.
All right, for today, I'll take the win. All right, well, we look forward to that next week from tomorrow and at 7 o'clock at the Mazer Monarch Lodge there at the Dickinson County Nature Center.
Yeah, and again, it's a free program. We will have the donation kitty out. And some of you who have been coming to our programs here at the museum know that our chairs are in really bad shape. And we will have a kitty out to hopefully purchase some new chairs.
Boy, that's
So
wonderful.
it'd be great.
Very good. All right, Mary, thank you for sharing this with me, this wonderful finds as I look across the table here. And thank you for all you and your wonderful volunteers do here at the Nature Center, at the museum.
Go figure.
Go figure.
Go figure.
All right, our guest today, Mary Dreier, again from the Dickinson County Museum, where history comes alive. We thank her for joining us. We look forward to this program, and we thank you for watching us right here on Okoboji Broadcast. Okoboji Broadcast from the studios at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park is brought to you in part by The Scott Troutman State Farm Agency in Spirit Lake. Quest Wealth Management, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services. Advisor Jan Spielman, AJ Spielman, and Erica Wachholz. Ducky's Marine and Motorsports Repair in Spirit Lake. Bank Midwest, dream big, plan wisely, live well. Lakes Regional Healthcare and Avera Partner. Ruthven Locker at the Lake, where carnivores are welcome on Hill Avenue in Spirit Lake. Beck Engineering in Spirit Lake. Be Radiant Laser Skin Studio in the Okoboji Plaza in Okoboji.